The desperate call commander Vega Harlow squinted at the holographic display, her weathered face illuminated by the blue glow of star charts. The United Earth ship Harbinger hung in the darkness of space, its massive frame housing a crew of 300 humans on routine patrol at the edge of their territorial boundary. "Commander, we're picking up an unusual signal," Lieutenant Orion Blackwell reported, his fingers dancing across the communications console. "It's weak, using an outdated protocol, and coming from deep within Galactic Council territory." Vega approached the console, brushing aside her silver-streaked black hair. At 45, she'd spent most of her life protecting Earth's interests on the frontier. "Play it." The bridge speakers crackled with static before a voice emerged, desperate and fading. "Anyone, I please help. Automated harvesters. Destroying everything. Council abandoned us. Environment too hostile for them. Please." "How long? Has this been broadcasting?" Vega asked. "Based on signal degradation, approximately 3 weeks," Orion replied, his dark eyes troubled. "It's coming from the Nixari system, a red dwarf with extreme radiation levels and high-gravity planets." Lieutenant Zara Frost, the Harbinger's tactical officer, looked up from her station. "Commander, that's over 200 light-years into Council space. If we respond, we'd be violating at least a dozen treaties." Vega's jaw tightened. Humanity had only gained probationary status in the Galactic Council 15 years ago. Most Council species viewed humans as dangerously unpredictable, evolved on a death world with environmental conditions that would kill most sentient species. The Council barely tolerated humans, watching their every move for signs of aggression. "Have you verified this with Central Command?" Vega asked. "Yes, Commander," Orion confirmed. "They're aware of the signal. The Council has officially designated the situation as too hazardous for intervention." "Convenient," Zara muttered. "Someone's dying and they're hiding behind safety protocols." Vega pulled up the planetary data for the Nixari system. The third planet, source of the distress call, had twice Earth's gravity, constant radiation that would kill most Council species within hours, and an atmosphere filled with caustic compounds. Brutal conditions, but survivable for humans with the right equipment. "Open a channel to Admiral Hayden," Vega ordered. Minutes later, the stern face of Fleet Admiral Julian Hayden appeared on the main screen. Vega explained the situation, ending with, "Request permission to investigate the distress call, sir." "Absolutely denied," Hayden responded immediately. "The Council has classified this as a non-intervention scenario. We cannot risk our standing by entering Council space without authorization." "With respect, Admiral, someone is dying out there," Vega pressed. "The signal is clear, and we both know why the Council won't respond. They physically can't handle the conditions. We can." Hayden's expression hardened. "That's exactly the kind of thinking that makes the Council nervous about us, Commander. They call us Deathworlders like it's a disease, not an adaptation. Playing into that stereotype won't help humanity's standing. So we let people die because we're worried about politics?" A long silence followed. Vega could see the conflict in the Admiral's eyes. Finally, Hayden spoke, his voice careful and measured. "Listen to me very carefully, Commander Harlow. I am officially ordering you to maintain your assigned patrol route. I am officially noting that any deviation would be against direct orders. I am officially warning you that Earth will disavow any knowledge of your actions if you're caught in Council space without authorization." Vega understood what wasn't being said. "Understood, Admiral." "And unofficially," Hayden added, lowering his voice, "the Harbinger is overdue for maintenance on its long-range communication systems. Quite unfortunate that you might experience equipment failures that prevent you from receiving new orders." The screen went dark. Vega turned to her bridge crew, who had heard everything. "Well," she said, "it seems we're about to experience some unfortunate communication problems. Navigation, plot a course to the Nixari system. Maximum speed." "Lieutenant, Commander Darius Wright, the navigation officer, hesitated. "Commander, that's well outside our patrol zone. This could end all our careers." "This is completely voluntary," Vega announced, looking around the bridge. "I won't order anyone to participate in this mission. If anyone wants to register an objection, now is the time." No one spoke. Then Zara broke the silence. If not us, then who? Vega nodded, feeling a surge of pride. Thank you. Now let's make this official for the log. Lieutenant Blackwell, please confirm our communication systems are experiencing difficulties. Orion's fingers moved across his console. Confirmed, Commander. I estimate repairs will take at least 2 weeks. Noted. And how unfortunate that our navigation system has suffered a temporary fault that's taken us off course. Darius smiled slightly. Very unfortunate, Commander. The system seems to be directing us toward coordinates in the Nixari system. Chief Engineer Reeves, Vega called over the ship's comm. How fast can we get there? If we push the engines to maximum 3 days, Commander, came the reply from engineering. Do it, and prep our environmental suits for high gravity, radiation, and atmospheric toxins. As the Harbinger changed course, accelerating to speeds beyond recommended limits, Vega felt the weight of her decision. She was risking everything. Her career, her ship, even Earth standing with the Council. But as she listened to the distress call one more time, she knew she was making the right choice. Hold on, she whispered to the unknown voice in the message. We're coming. 3 days later, the Harbinger dropped out of faster-than-light travel, at the edge of the Nixari system. The red dwarf star burned dimly at the center, its reddish light casting an eerie glow across the bridge displays. Scanning the third planet now, reported Dr. Nova Quinn, the ship's science officer. Data streamed across her console, confirming previous data. Gravity 1.9 times Earth standard. Radiation levels lethal to most Council species within hours. Atmosphere contains high levels of chlorine compounds and metallic particulates. Can't our environmental suits handle those conditions? Vega asked. Nova nodded, tucking a strand of auburn hair behind her ear. Yes, Commander. We'll need maximum protection settings, and I wouldn't recommend staying on the surface longer than 6 hours at a time, but it's within our survival parameters. For us, Zara added quietly. Not for most Council species. Detecting artificial structures on the surface, Nova continued. A settlement near the equator and something else. She frowned at her readings. 3 massive objects, each about the size of a small city, moving slowly across the landscape toward the settlement. Magnify, Vega ordered. The screen zoomed in, showing 3 enormous platforms crawling across the planet's surface on massive treads. Each platform carried what appeared to be harvesting equipment, processing facilities, and defensive systems. Those must be the automated harvesters mentioned in the distress call, Vega said. They're heading straight for the settlement. Commander, I'm receiving the distress signal at much stronger levels now, Orion reported. Someone's still alive down there. Open a channel, Vega ordered, straightening her uniform. Orion worked his console. Channel open. Vega took a deep breath. This is Commander Vega Harlow of the Earth vessel Harbinger. We've received your distress call and are here to help. Please respond. Seconds passed in tense silence. Then a voice, clearly surprised, answered. Earth vessel? You actually came? No one else would respond. We're here now, Vega said firmly. What's your situation? My name is Calix. I speak for what remains of our Xerillian colony. The harvesting platforms have destroyed half our settlement already. We have many wounded. The platforms aren't stopping for anything. They crush everything in their path. How many of your people are there? Vega asked. We numbered 300 when we established the colony, Calix replied, his voice breaking slightly. Now fewer than 200 remain. Are the platforms targeting you deliberately? The corporation that owns them claims this world was designated for resource extraction. They know we're here but say we have no right to be. They call us obstacles to legal harvesting operations. The platforms are fully automated, programmed to continue regardless of resistance. Nova looked up from her console in shock. That's murder. We appealed to the Council, Calix continued, but they ruled this a private dispute over unregistered territory. They said the environmental conditions made intervention unjustified, given the hazard to potential rescuers. The bridge fell silent as the crew absorbed this information. Can you tell us about your species, Calix? Vega asked. We want to make sure we can help you safely. We are Xerillians. We're refugees who fled persecution in the central systems. We chose this world precisely because its conditions are hostile to most species. We thought we would be left alone here. A bitter laugh came through the comm. We evolved on a world not unlike this one. High gravity, caustic atmosphere. To us, it's home. Vega exchanged glances with Nova. Fellow Deathworlders, the science officer murmured. Commander, Zara spoke up from Tactical. I've analyzed those platforms. They have defensive systems designed to protect against environmental threats, not military assault. We could disable them. Vega considered this. Interfering with private mining operations, even to save lives, would be a major violation of Council non-intervention policies. But leaving these people to die wasn't an option. Calyx, can you send us schematics of the platforms? Vega asked. Anything to help us understand what we're dealing with? Yes, transmitting now, Calyx replied, hope entering his voice for the first time. Before Vega could continue, alarms blared through the ship. Commander, Orion called urgently. A Council ship just entered the system. The situation had just become much more complicated, but Vega's resolve remained firm. She looked at the red-brown world on the screen, where the massive platforms crept closer to the remaining settlement structures. Let's show the galaxy what Deathworlders do when lives are on the line, she said. Monsters of Earth Council vessel is hailing us, Lieutenant Blackwell announced, tension evident in his voice. Commander Vega Harlow straightened her uniform. Put them through. The main screen flickered to life, revealing a tall, slender alien with pale blue skin and large, unblinking eyes. Vega recognized the species as Thalaxian, one of the older Council races known for their strict adherence to regulations. Human vessel, the Thalaxian official said coldly. You are in violation of Council space. Your presence here is unauthorized. Withdraw immediately. Vega kept her face neutral. This is Commander Vega Harlow of the Earth vessel Harbinger. We're responding to a distress signal as required by Galactic Navigation Statute 47B. The Council has already ruled on this matter, the Thalaxian countered. The environmental conditions of this world make intervention an unnecessary risk. You will leave now. With respect, Vega replied, my ship and crew are fully capable of operating in these conditions. The signal clearly indicates lives are in danger. This is a territorial dispute, not an emergency, the Thalaxian insisted. The Harvesting Corporation has legal claims to this world. And the people already living here? Vega asked pointedly. The Thalaxian's expression didn't change. Unauthorized settlers without recognized status. This is your final warning, Commander. Withdraw, or we will report this violation to your government. The screen went dark before Vega could respond. That went well, Zara said dryly. Vega turned to her crew. We don't have much time, let's make it count. She activated the ship's internal comm. All team leaders to the briefing room immediately. 20 minutes later, Vega stood at the head of the briefing room table. Lieutenant Zara Frost, Dr. Nova Quinn, Chief Engineer Marcus Reeves, and 3 other officers sat reviewing the platform. Schematics sent by the Xerillians. The situation is simple, Vega began. 3 harvesting platforms are destroying the Xerillian settlement. We need to stop them without causing a major diplomatic incident. Nova tapped her tablet, projecting a 3D model of one platform above the table. Each platform is essentially a moving city. They're automated with minimal crew, mostly technicians who stay in protected central areas. Defensive capabilities? Zara asked. Substantial, but not military grade, Nova replied. They're designed to protect against environmental threats, radiation, shields, reinforced structures for high gravity, filtration systems for the atmosphere. They have security drones and some weapons, but those are meant for clearing obstacles, not fighting off attackers. Chief Engineer Reeves pointed to specific sections of the model. The platforms have 3 key vulnerabilities. First, the control centers where all operations are managed. Second, the power distribution nodes. Third, the tread mechanisms themselves. Vega nodded. We can't simply destroy these platforms. That would be an act of sabotage against private property. But we can temporarily disable them, giving the Xyrillians time to evacuate or negotiate. Commander, Zara interjected. Time is critical. Those platforms will reach the main settlement in less than 5 hours. Then we move now, Vega decided. 3 teams, 1 for each platform. Zara, you'll lead Alpha Team targeting the control center. Nova, you'll lead Beta Team focusing on the power systems. Marcus, you'll lead Gamma Team to disable the tread mechanisms. I'll coordinate from the Harbinger with Lieutenant Blackwell handling communications. What about the council ship? Nova asked. They'll be focused on the Harbinger, not our shuttles, Vega answered. We'll use that to our advantage. The door to the briefing room slid open, and a crew member ushered in 3 Xyrillians. Their appearance surprised the humans. The Xyrillians were shorter than humans but stocky, with thick reddish-brown skin that looked tough like leather. Their eyes were large and dark, adapted for the dim light of their red dwarf sun. Commander Harlow, said the lead Xyrillian, stepping forward. I am Calix. These are my advisors, Alara and Vex. We came to help however we can. Vega offered a respectful nod. Thank you for coming. We're planning our approach to the platforms now. Calix moved to the holographic display. We've tried to approach the platforms before, seeking to negotiate. We know their layouts. The Xyrillian pointed to specific sections. But you should know that the corporation likely installed deadman switches. If they detect tampering, they might accelerate their operations. What do you mean? Nova asked. The platforms have different destruction modes, explained Alara, the female Xyrillian. The normal mode is methodical, processing everything as they go, but they can switch to rapid clearance mode, where they simply destroy without processing resources. So if we're detected, they could speed up and flatten the entire colony before we complete our mission. Marcus frowned. Exactly, Calix said grimly. Vega considered this new information. Then stealth is essential, at least initially. Once we begin our operation, we'll need to hit all 3 platforms simultaneously. We can guide your teams, offered Vex, the 3rd Xyrillian. We know paths that might avoid security sensors. That would be invaluable, Vega said. But you need to understand the risks. The gravity, radiation, and atmosphere already push our environmental suits to their limits. For your own safety. Calix made a sound that might have been a laugh. Commander, this is our home environment. We need no suits. Where you see danger, we see normal conditions. It is one reason we chose this world. Few others could survive here. Zara grinned. Fellow Deathworlders indeed. 3 shuttles dropped from the Harbinger like falling stars, racing toward the planet's surface. Inside each, human team members checked their environmental suits one final time. The suits were bulky, but necessary, designed to withstand the crushing gravity, radiation, and caustic atmosphere. Zara sat in the lead shuttle with Alpha Team, 4 crew members and the Xyrillian guide Alara beside her. Everyone remember the plan, she said over the comm. We get in, we reprogram the control center, we get out, no heroics. 30 seconds to landing, called the pilot. Zara felt the shuttle shudder as it hit the atmosphere. Outside the viewports, the air glowed red from friction. She glanced at Alara, who seemed completely calm despite the violent descent. Your first space jump? Zara asked. Alara's tough skin crinkled in what might have been a smile. Yes, it's exciting. That's one word for it, Zara replied as the shuttle jolted again. In the second shuttle, Nova and Beta Team braced for landing. Their Xyrillian guide, Vex, pointed at the approaching harvesting platform visible through the viewport. We should land there, Vex said, indicating a maintenance area. Less security sensors. Nova nodded and relayed the coordinates to her pilot. Remember, everyone, this platform houses the main power node. If we can disable it, we might be able to slow all 3 platforms at once. The 3rd shuttle, carrying Marcus and Gamma Team, took a different approach. Their target was the furthest platform, and their mission involved the most risk, traversing the external structure through highly radioactive zones to reach the tread mechanisms. Latest readings show radiation spikes near our entry point. Marcus told his team. Suits should handle it, but don't linger longer than necessary. Their Xerillian guide, a female named Tella, touched Marcus's arm. My people will help carry your equipment. The gravity will be harder on you than on us. Marcus nodded gratefully. The Xerillians had evolved in this harsh environment. What was deadly to most species was home to them. Above the planet, the Harbinger faced its own challenges. 2 more council ships had arrived surrounding Vega's vessel, all broadcasting warnings and threats. Human vessel, you are violating council directive, came the Thalaxian's voice. Your shuttles must return immediately, or we will be forced to take action. Vega stood firm on her bridge. Our mission is humanitarian in nature. Any attempt to interfere with a rescue operation violates Galactic Navigation Statute 47B, Section 12. Those are harvesting platforms, not weapons, the Thalaxian insisted. You have no right to interfere with legal resource extraction. Resource extraction doesn't include killing innocent people, Vega countered. She turned to Orion. Cut the transmission. Position us between the council ships and the planet. They'll have to go through us to reach our teams on the surface. Alpha Team made their landing. The moment the shuttle doors opened, Zara felt the increased gravity pulling at her. Each step in her environmental suit required twice the effort it would on Earth. Stay close, Ilara told them, moving with natural ease across the rocky surface. The platform is just over this ridge. When they crested the hill, the true scale of the harvesting platform became apparent. It was enormous, stretching for nearly a kilometer in each direction, with massive treads crushing everything in its path. Mechanical arms extended from its sides, ripping into the ground and buildings alike. There, Ilara pointed to a maintenance hatch on the platform's lower level. We can enter there. Zara led her team forward. The caustic atmosphere swirled around, their suits occasionally making the external sensors flicker. As they reached the platform, security drones appeared, floating spheres with scanning beams. The situation has created quite the diplomatic incident, Admiral Hayden noted, though Vega caught the hint of pride in his eyes. The broadcast has spread throughout Council space. There are demonstrations on dozens of worlds demanding protection for refugee populations. The Council has been compelled to reconsider certain policies, the representative admitted reluctantly. A formal investigation into Galactic Resource Corporation has been opened, and emergency protocols are being revised to account for varying environmental tolerances among member species. After the transmission ended, Vega made her way to the observation deck. There, she found Calyx gazing out at the stars, his people safely evacuated to temporary shelters provided by the alliance of ships that had answered her call. Your people saved us when no one else would, Calyx said quietly. The galaxy calls humans monsters and Deathworlders as if these are insults. And what do you think? Vega asked. Calyx turned to her, his alien features revealing what could only be described as profound respect. I think sometimes when the darkness seems overwhelming, what you need isn't polite diplomats or careful bureaucrats. Sometimes what you need is a monster willing to fight for you. Vega smiled slightly. Maybe being monsters isn't so bad then. No, Calyx agreed, looking back to the stars where dozens of ships from across the galaxy now work together, inspired by humanity's stand. Sometimes the monsters are the heroes the universe needs.